All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Hawar HaKodash. Double honors to apostles, a great millstone, and salutations to your elect, which we hope to be. It's your brother Hawaii. Got a quick lesson for you Negro, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelites who better shame and looking like heathens, who spirit bear witness that they're a child of Heavenly Father. And the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, who the world only calls Jehovah God, the Yahweh. And the name of the Heavenly Son is Yahweh Shai, who the world only calls Jesus Christ, or Jesus Christus, or Yeshua. Quick lesson. Any other preachers come out, you already know it's the Holy Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit, whether you believe it or not. And I was watching a old live and stuff. You know what I'm saying? From uh, 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 from the brothers. You know what I'm saying? I was on the brothers Paya page and stuff, and it messed up, but I was still able to watch it, and they was going into how they went into Isaiah 19:2, the Egyptian against the Egyptian. You know what I'm saying? Because we're coming into times and stuff that guess what? You see what's going on. The brother, I know his page name, but it's Bakar Moth, Lightning Truth. And he was sitting up here, he was saying this stuff. It's like, do you people really think that this shit is normal? You know what I'm saying? The first thing that people want to do and stuff is ready to get physical and stuff. Nobody want to use no logic. Nobody want to use their heads and whatnot. And the only time they using their heads and stuff is if it's a sexual business. You know what I'm saying? Right? You know, everybody and stuff thirsty as hell. And matter of fact, and stuff, it's the same. It's the same thing that they show in a lot of realistic zombie movies and stuff. What happened? You got these half dead individuals and stuff, and guess what? They showing nothing but aggression, and that's exactly the stuff. What the fuck is going on with these people? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, guess what? Shit gonna turn up. Even for the ones and stuff, it's like, well, things and stuff are not happening and stuff right now and stuff. Guess what? Things could turn up and stuff on the instant. Niggas looking for people and stuff to sit up here and do some shit to and whatnot and stuff. You know, you got people and stuff who go not done to doing stuff. So guess what? They use irritation and stuff for entertainment. And all you got to do and stuff is give some peaceful words, right? All you got to do is be right and show that their statement and stuff is wrong or whatever it is and stuff that they going by and stuff. And guess what? They gonna be ready to do something to you. Like we heaping coals of fire and stuff upon these people and stuff, right? And the thing is that they want us on fire and stuff by telling them the truth. Galatians 4:16. Have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? But then here it is and stuff. Them same individuals gonna be like, man, why you ain't tell me and stuff? You didn't want to listen. They don't want us to have an answer, what I'm saying, to their complaints. You know what I'm saying? They just want to complain. And the scripture says that in Romans the first chapter. You know what I'm saying? That they should be complainers. And that's exactly what the fuck they are. And then when you pay attention and stuff to what it is that they complain and stuff to find a solution, because they just want to continue to complain, they get mad and stuff that you find a solution and stuff. And it's like, you want to complain. You ain't trying to find no solution, you know? And they look at it all, you got a smart mouth and you got woo to woo and whatnot and stuff. It's like, shit, motherfucker don't even want to talk to you. And if a motherfucker ignore you and stuff, guess what? You're just going to press more on the irritation and stuff, hoping for a response. So it just shows and stuff that these people and stuff, they ready and stuff. Well, what's that emoji and stuff where your head is blown? They ready and stuff to go crazy. This is what it is and stuff when it comes down to the carnal mind. You know what I'm saying? All they want to do is fight and stuff until they come across somebody and stuff who can spit out their codes real quick. You know what I'm saying? Even without words. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they want. But more than likely, it's just one of the things to come. And you got to keep this in mind that stuff gonna get crazy out here. You know, stuff gonna get crazy. Stuff gonna be it's gonna get worse than what it is already. Pretty soon and stuff, you will see apocalyptic movies. You know what I'm saying? Happening in real life. It's gonna be cars everywhere with no gas. You know, for all you niggas out there and stuff who are still whoremongers and stuff, which is a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, you gonna be choosing your best girl and whatnot and stuff who give the best head and stuff to siphon oil. You know what I'm saying? Trying to sit up here and see if you could use this stuff for a generator or a place of refuge and stuff that you chose and stuff to be at. Because guess what? Motherfuckers gonna be on the move. And like I always say, I know a lot of people and stuff be like, well, as long as I got this, and as long as I got this, and as long as I got that and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time and stuff, remember, it's gonna be other people and stuff who's gonna be roaming. Remember, they all Esau, even full blood spirit Caucasian, no matter how he look, no matter what ethnicity and stuff that he finds himself in. The thing is that guess what? He wants this turmoil to come because it's part of his new beginning. You know what I'm saying? You know, like in the Avengers Ends game. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, the before the peace actually came, even though it was a lot of losses, but before it was losses and stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I think who was it? Black Widow was the one who couldn't come back, right? Because of the stone or the sacrifice or something like that, or however way and stuff that it went. And the thing is that it's gonna get crazy like this. Everybody gonna be for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And you people gonna know that a prophet have been among you. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? A lot of people who talk they shit and stuff are gonna be looking for those very same prophets and stuff to give them answers. Why? Because they took too much of their time talking they shit and scoffing. And then guess what? They're gonna be ready to learn and stuff when it's time to act. When it's been time and stuff to act. Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. He that fear the Lord is his treasure. You know what I'm saying? But they haven't been acting because it feels like it's stuff that guess what? They don't have nothing to worry about. They're not even living according. They're not even living according to the scriptures and what. No, it's like they're not even trying to move with the wisdom according to the scriptures and whatnot because they don't think that anything's gonna come. But when it actually implode, when things and stuff happen and whatnot and stuff, and shit is real crazy out here and stuff, and it's like the video games, San Andreas, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Saints Row, whatever, right? And various others. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's when it's like, okay, I got time and stuff to learn. It's like, no, this is gonna be the time to apply. This is the final test. So this is Luke 21:10. And as you see things to come, it says, Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, right? And as the nation goes into people, you know what I'm saying, right? And guess what? The diversities and stuff can go against each other, even if they are from the same race. You know what I'm saying? Or the same ethnicity and stuff. Guess what? They all gonna be coming against one another and stuff because it's gonna be survivors of the fittest. It's gonna be like the Hunger Games and whatnot and stuff, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if it might be individuals out there and stuff who gonna be stealing food when they don't even need to steal food. They just gonna be doing this stuff. Why? Because it's gonna be excitement. It's gonna be a rush. You know, all these people out here and stuff who ready to fight and shit and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be looking for that same entertainment. You know. And I was thinking about like certain dangerous groups that ain't telling the truth, right? Or the other dangerous groups. They ain't that other dangerous group and stuff will be the individuals and stuff who tell a little bit of the truth and stuff, but they don't get the right message. But I'm talking about the ones and stuff who ain't trying to. The only message that they trying to send and stuff is how powerful they are. You see, and I thought about it stuff. It's like, oh, what if I was I'm just speaking as a man. It's like, shoot, what if I was I'm not boasting or anything, but it's like, what if I was sitting up here and I was the leader and stuff to change the stuff, a dangerous group. You're going to always have the individuals and stuff when it come down to peace. Man, this shit boring, man. Man, without action and stuff. And guess what? They're going to be the main ones and stuff who going to go in the shadows. Go in the shadows. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily disobey orders and whatnot and stuff, but they gonna disrupt the peace. You know what I'm saying? Just for some action. And you gonna have them motherfuckers out there. Matter of fact, I think they showed you that in the movie The Purge. You know what I'm saying? The one with the bald head dude and stuff. And guess what? He was on a hunt. It's gonna be like that. Motherfuckers who got grudges and stuff who didn't want to give that up and whatnot. And it's like, Lord, I just got to do this one last thing and stuff, and I'll come back. Yeah, the Lord might cut they ass off. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, man, your time, like the Lord said and stuff, they're going to seek for the Lord early. And it's going to be a time of opportunity and stuff to still seek for the Lord. And guess what? They ain't going to find it. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because there's other things on their plate that they want to pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Them same people are going to be looking for somebody to blame. They're not going to look in the mirror. They're not gonna want to do that and stuff. Why? Because it's just gonna hurt for the fact that it's like here it is and stuff. It's like they're ready and stuff to punch somebody else and stuff, but at the same time looking in the mirror and stuff, they ain't ready trying to sit up here and throw a couple of punches and stuff against their own cheek. Like, man, why you do that and stuff? You know what I'm saying? They ain't finna do that. You know? So they're gonna look for somebody else. And niggas doing it already. You know what I'm saying? And it's in the green tree. So how much more in the dry and stuff when they looking for entertainment and stuff, which is something to do. Or actually for supplies. And you seen that and stuff in I Am Legend and stuff with Disney or Washington. You know what I'm saying? You had five guys and stuff, five, six, seven, how many and whatnot, using old girl for bait and whatnot and stuff, just for looking for stragglers to see what they have and stuff because uh, uh, they was going low on supplies. So what you think finna happen? And then even that video game, The Last of Us, the first one, really, you know what I'm saying? You had to move around. And the scripture says that in Second Entrance, the 16th chapter and stuff, that we shall be as pilgrims upon the earth. Why? Because guess what? Eventually down the line, they ain't gonna be shit in the grocery stores. And then when they finally do rebuild and whatnot and stuff, if you don't get the mark of the beast and stuff, you ain't partaking in that. You know, all these cybernetic and stuff, robots and stuff for security. We already know they gonna be on some shit, right? But it's gonna be like Code 8. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the spiritual power is gonna come upon his men, his sincere men. you know, whoever they might would be and stuff, you know what I'm saying, which we hope to be, you know what I'm saying, despite what anybody else thinks, you know what I'm saying, because it's the Lord's choice, you know what I'm saying, it ain't ours, right? So this Luke 21 and 10, it says, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation. So it's going to be Puerto Ricans against Puerto Ricans. It's going to be Chinese against Chinese and whatnot and stuff, And then guess what? That's when the diversity and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Where you on the opposite, you coming against an opposite ethnicity. Or in Israel's case and stuff, you coming against another tribe or your own, right? It says in kingdom against kingdom, and guess what? These nations and stuff, they ready and stuff to go toe to toe with each other. And I got to take this from the brother Yawana years ago. He said the Lord's breaking up them toes. They not 10 toes down anymore. You know, right? They all leaving each other. What it says in Joel the third chapter, which they also made mention. It says, "Let the weak say that I'm strong." You know what I'm saying? They all got the same type of weaponry and stuff, or they got more guns and stuff than America and whatnot and stuff. And there's few allies and stuff that they soon gonna lose, and they're gonna be done. They're gonna be done. They gonna hide in their bunkers and stuff, and everybody else and stuff gonna be on this earth who don't got that money. But anyways, verse 11, it says, "In great in great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven." Well, what was the recent thing? We already know about the red moons, and that's also a prophecy found in the book of Joel, right? Uh, uh, we also have what was that recent one? I didn't get to see it and stuff, but it was that pink moon. You know what I'm saying? Super blue moon. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the moon been showing different colors and stuff. You got people that go outside, it's all red. You know what I'm saying? I've also seen and stuff, days and stuff when you go outside and stuff, and it's like it's orange outside, and nobody else fucking notices it, or even considering stuff. It's like, why is it like this? Take pictures of every fucking thing. Facebook Live, TikTok. What's the other one? Instagram, but walking in an orange day and stuff like it's cool. And when I say orange day and stuff, it wasn't like the sun was glistening and stuff a certain way. It wasn't like the sun was glistening and stuff a certain way and stuff, or it was interchanging and stuff as it went down and whatnot. No, it was just fucking orange outside. As a matter of fact, I think it was cloudy too. So with it being cloudy and stuff, you know what that means? That means and stuff that even though it was cloudy, that means and stuff, even though it was cloudy and whatnot and stuff, it was other lights and stuff going on, and it was orange. And the other places it was red. You know what I'm saying? Or days and stuff that people was hearing fucking noises and whatnot and stuff. from the earth, and it's like, and nobody and stuff knew where it was, right? So and famine's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a man-made famine and stuff, but at the same time, it's gonna be the famine of word and it's gonna be the famine of food, right? And it says in pestilences, you know what I'm saying? And what pestilence bring? Other predators, right? And it says in fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. It says, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you, because it's gonna be another thing too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people gonna be like, it's all your fault and stuff. If you never was prophesying about this, that, and third, these things wouldn't happen and stuff. And it's like, oh, it's like, so you saying that I'm the most high, they gonna be hell no and stuff. And it's like, well, these ain't my words about what's gonna happen in the future and stuff. So how the fuck you getting mad at me? This is the mentality and stuff that's gonna be out here. I'm thirsty and stuff to blame somebody and whatnot and stuff. Why? Because it's another person's stuff that I can't put my hands on, or it's another individual stuff that I can't put my hands on. So I get to put my hands on the next best thing. Because they really think stuff. If we whoop your ass and stuff, then these prophecies gonna stop. Well, if we stop you from preaching, like part of the prophecies and stuff is the famine of words. So you want us to stop preaching? It's coming quicker than you think. But then that's when it's like, what shall we do? Like they did Jeremiah, right? And it says, but before, and then what the apostles, they said it's better for us to obey the Most High and stuff rather than man. And guess what? That pissed motherfuckers off. People of the circumcision who had a little had some authority and stuff when it come down to the government and the province and stuff that they was in. You know what I'm saying? Right? And really and stuff is because we don't want to be the reason stuff to find out and stuff, you know what I'm saying, while your house shot was slain and whatnot and stuff. So we just need you to be quiet. And it's like, hell no. You can't be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Because then he'll kill us. Especially if he put us in these positions stuff to teach, to be apostles, prophets, and teachers or evangelists. Right? So lock it. Hold on. Right? But this is Luke 21 and 12. It says, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you. Persecute means to chase, follow you everywhere you go and stuff, seeking to find out where you at and whatnot and stuff, because they think you the problem. It says, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake, right? And that's only when it comes down to certain individuals' lives, right? And knowing these people and stuff, they want to, like I call them Judas Iscariot. What they want to do is that they want to force the hand of the Lord and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying, right? So this is verse 13. It said, and that's why I say the descendants of Judas Iscariot and stuff, because that's what Judas Iscariot tried to do. He saw that power, he heard about the kingdom, so therefore he tried to force it. And that's exactly what these people are going to do. And remember, a lot of these individuals hate us. A lot of these individuals and stuff hate us, right? They hate us. You know what I'm saying? And when it come down to certain prophecies and whatnot that they would like to partake in, it's like, look, you the big fish, your flame and stuff is hotter, brighter, shining, got a better color than mine and whatnot and stuff. I need to get you up out of here and stuff so I can be the only one shining. They look at you as competition. And that's gonna also be another reason stuff why it's gonna be great betrayal. And why is that? That's because, like I always say and stuff, it's gonna be because of status or money. Status or money. You know, you know, it's all about them. Like the scripture says, that they should be more lovers of themselves rather than lovers of the Most High. Yahweh Shem Shai. Verse 13, it says, and it shall turn to you for a testimony. It says, settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. Meaning, guess what? They're going to have to accept that you're right and they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? But are they going to like that? No, because a lot of them, Matthew 7 and 6. Verse 16, it says, and ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsfolk and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death, because they don't think you the problem, right? Now it's not going to be everybody and stuff. If they on the same accord to you and stuff, then guess what? You have no issue. But other than that and stuff, some people ain't going to be on the same accord and stuff. So guess what? You will have an issue. So lock it. All right, so this is I'm gonna read verse 16 again. Luke 21 and 16.
I'm reading Amplified Bible. It says, but you will, to the right, it says, but you will be betrayed and handed over even by parents and brothers and relatives and friends. And they will put some of you to death. And it tells you that. And well, it's just another way. But this Matthew's 10. This Matthew's 10 and 30. Matthew's 10 and 34. It says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And in verse 36, it says, a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Right? And when you go into that word man, it's the word anthropos, and it says human being. So that means both genders. You know what I'm saying, right? So guess what? When it comes down to the females who believe and whatnot, everybody else who disbelievers, they gonna be against you, right? Especially when it comes down to a lot of the cringeful things and stuff according to the scriptures, they gonna be tripping about, you know. And it's like worried about salvation, but most people and stuff, they gonna be like, nah, I gotta get a grip on this and whatnot and stuff. Well, do it on your own time and watch. They gonna put their hand on their chest and stuff, they mouth over. It's like, how dare you and stuff? This is your job. Hey, my obligation and stuff been gone with the family word coming. They gonna be wanting to sit down and stuff and do one-on-ones, and it's like you should have been doing that and stuff instead of talking your shit. That's when they gonna be like, nah, you need to handle that and stuff, or the Lord gonna destroy you and stuff. It's like I handle it and stuff when you weren't paying attention. So now you want everything and stuff to stop for you and stuff. Like, well, the world don't revolve around you, you know, and it's really gonna just be up to the Lord. It's really gonna be up to the Lord, you know. And matter of fact, I'm gonna keep reading. It says Luke 10 and 37. It says, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. It says, and he that loveth his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. You know what I'm saying, right? So Yahweh and Yahweh Shai has to be the first things and stuff, you know what I'm saying, on when it comes down to priorities. You know what I'm saying, right? And it says, verse 38, it says, and he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. And this is part of the cross. And what is the cross? Your affliction, your path. You know what I'm saying? You know, your Acts 14 and 22, your shoot, it's right there and stuff. Call all your light, your Revelations 22 and 11. You know what I'm saying? And I think verse 12 too, because it says, hold that fast which thou hast, because our reward cometh quickly. And we gonna have to hold on when it come down to this truth, right? So this is verse 38 is right. So I read that already. So I'm gonna go back to Luke 21 and 18. It says, but there shall not an hair or your head perish. Luke 21:18. No, verse 17. It says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. It says in the AMP, and you will be continually hated by everyone because of your association with my name. Because we prophesy Yahweh Shem Yahshai, we about Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Isaiah 59 and 15 say that, yea, true faithful, he that departed away from evil and stuff, make his soul a prey. And it's going to be great evil out here. And guess what people are going to do and stuff when great evil comes? That's when they're going to come to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? You know, and guess what? It's going to, the Lord can sit up here and still answer their prayers and whatnot and stuff, right? But guess what? They haven't gotten used to patience. You know what I'm saying? You know, the divine intervention and stuff on everything that's uncomfortable and stuff. Guess what? They're going to expect instant gratification and stuff because that's what this world and stuff has given them. So they're going to be unprepared. They might be prepared with the food. They might be prepared with the guns and whatnot. But we know what the scriptures say and stuff when it comes down to the Lord's holy elect, the 144,000, which consists of 12,000 men, each the 12 tribes of Israel, the government body, The one third, which are men, women, and children who are Israelites who believe no matter how they look, who convert and keep the law, statute, commandments to the best of their ability, mingle with faith, repenting every day, and not cherry picking what they want to repent on, and repent on a timely fashion on the Lord's time before it's too late, right? Only found in North America. Then you had the innumerable multitude that's outside of North America, written in the book of life and stuff, predestined from the beginning, which nobody and stuff can mess that up. Isaiah 14:27 tell you that, right? No matter how hard they try to change things and whatnot and stuff, guess what? That'll be the anti-Messiah. You know what I'm saying? Which are many, it's many of them, not just one person. You know what I'm saying? You know, the anti-Messiah, well, I know it says anti-Christ, for Christ is just Greek for chosen. You know what I'm saying? You know, or anointed and stuff. And anointed means chosen and stuff. So anti meaning against. And guess what? They're gonna show it in their deeds. They're gonna show it in stuff in their works. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? It's gonna be continuous and stuff where it's not gonna change. So you're gonna be able to see these people and stuff a mile away, even if they don't say shit. The Lord gonna the Satan gonna be on them, and with us having this practice and stuff of knowing that Satan stuff be upon not just ourselves and stuff to try to mess with us and stuff and have us go off the path of righteousness, but then also when it come down to everybody else. And guess what? A lot of everybody else and stuff going to be a novice to it. So with that being the case, we're going to be able to peep that out. So what's going to be the first thing and stuff in most people's minds? Going to be like, I got to find one of those men. And you know what would be funny? You know, if the biggest golfers and stuff turn out to be the ones and stuff where it's like, I want to learn about this word. I want to learn about this word. Please teach me. And we don't know what the Lord gonna do, because like it says in Proverbs 20 and 24, it says, man's going to the Lord, how can a man understand his own way? And because I don't have this by heart, but this Proverbs 21:1, it says, the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Shai. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Right? And brother's been doing videos and stuff where we're all on the mercy and stuff of Yahweh Shai. We all on the mercy of Yahweh Shai. You know, literally. It's all about the mercy of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And the thing is that, a lot of people and stuff, they're gonna be bugged the fuck out. Verse 2, it says, every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. Right? And when you're gonna say that word ponder, is the word takan, and it says balance. You know what I'm saying? Right? And guess what? A lot of or what's it's a figuratively to arrange, right? And a lot of people and stuff, they're already predestined and stuff. A lot of people and stuff already a lot of individual stuff are predestined. You know what I'm saying? You know, on a fuck it, a lot of people and stuff on the left side and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Whoever they would be with a shoe fit, because the Lord knows, right? Predestination, pre-order, right? And here it is and stuff. Guess what? They're gonna be in a certain spirit and stuff, and it's gonna be easily recognized and stuff when it come down to those and stuff of learned spirits. You know what I'm saying? You know, those and stuff who the Lord and stuff brought through the trenches, or wisdom and stuff brought through the trenches and whatnot and stuff, and wasn't nice to them, just so you can sit up here and find out, you know what I'm saying, or how to get closer and stuff to the Lord. Because a lot of people are closer to Satan and stuff than they are to the Lord, right? Verse 3, it says, to do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice and whatnot. And that's what you're going to have to use. You know what I'm saying? Galatians, no. Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter, it goes into how the Lord dwelleth with nuns and stuff, but dwelleth with none but those who dwell with wisdom. And what wisdom he talking about? His wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Because other than that, everybody else going to be using the knowledge of wickedness and stuff just to survive. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to be asked out, and we don't want that. You know, and that's actually and stuff where a lot of people and stuff gonna really be trying to do sacrifices and whatnot and stuff, but it might be too late, or they might not know how to do a proper sacrifice when it come down to living righteously. They might really just find like a squirrel and stuff, and create an altar and stuff, and sacrifice it and stuff. When the whole time the squirrel and stuff is an unlawful sacrifice, they might do it that way. It's just speaking as a man, who's to say, right? Verse 4, it says, a high look and a proud heart and the plowing of the wicked is sin, The thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness. It says, but of everyone that is is hasty only to want, and want means lack, and we don't want to lack. That's why you're gonna have the Zechariah 8:23s and stuff, because guess what? They don't have it. They don't have so much and stuff. They have a certain type of range, and guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna sit up here and be like, well, I'm gonna cleave onto you. What it says and stuff, it says they're gonna hold the hem and the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying that we have heard that the Lord and stuff has been with you. Even the ones and stuff who look down upon us and stuff, guess what? They're gonna have to take a big goat. They're gonna be like Bashful from Snow White and stuff. Nice red cheeks and stuff, looking halfway the other way, using their parental and whatnot and stuff, because they can't look us in the face because they've been fucking wicked. You know, and ain't just gonna be well, it might be according to Ecclesiastes 81 and stuff. It happened when it came down to Moses. It was like, oh, the light is too bright. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, they gonna be looking for us. You know, even right now and stuff. When it come down to various individuals and stuff that tend to come across me and stuff, and it's not about me, but I know I'm not the only one. It tells you that in First Peter, the fourth chapter. And with that being the case and stuff, you know what they do? Uh, 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 they talk they stuff. Uh, they talk they stuff. You know what I'm saying? But really they the ones and stuff, and they the ones and stuff lacking. And I did a video before going into the other day, going into um some scoffers and stuff want to learn, and I took that from Apostle Rakai, the title anyways, and I said the rest. It says and the rest are completely utterly proud. And what proud does, well, what happens to stuff when you're proud and stuff? You turn away from your maker. And that's why a lot of people are going to use carnality and stuff in these days. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to use wisdom. A lot of them stuff won't be able to do it anyway. So this back in Luke 21:18, it says, but there shall not an hair of your head perish, and your patience possesses ye your souls. Amplified Bible says, verse 19, it says, be by your patient endurance, empowered by the Holy Spirit, you will gain your souls. And that's just that's the same way as Matthew's 24th chapter. It says, he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. And if it's going to be endurance and stuff, it ain't going to be easy, but you're going to have to fight the good fight of faith. Why? Because remember, we don't go against these people and stuff, right? Even though they're going to be trying to hurt us and whatnot, hurt the flesh and shit. Remember, Satan is on them. You know what I'm saying? And it's majority of the nation. You know what I'm saying? It's majority of the nation and stuff. And then you got the other nations and stuff who are non-Israelites and stuff who gonna be on some shit. And it's gonna be part of the envy, it's gonna be part of the jealousy, it's gonna be part of all that. You know what I'm saying? Right? So this verse 20, it says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, this is martial law. Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Right? It says in the AMP, it says, but when you see Jerusalem, remember Jerusalem, people before it's a place, surrounded by hostile armies, then understand with confidence and assurance that her complete destruction is near. Verse 21 in the King James Version, it says, and let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. It says, let them which are in the midst of it depart out. But guess what? Anywhere you go and stuff, they're going to have their form of martial law. You know what I'm saying? It could be simultaneously and stuff. It could ricochet, domino effect, however way it goes. But ever since Israel is scattered to the four corners of earth, Jacob's trouble going to be everywhere as well. Right? And it says, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. So say if you somewhere else, or maybe you're in a distant suburb and stuff, and it's like, I'm finna slide down to the city and stuff, and you see smoke, fire and stuff, uh 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 skyscrapers and stuff falling over to the side and stuff. It reminds me, I didn't watch the movie, but Fifth Wave. And when it come down to Fifth Wave, right? They did an EMP and whatnot and stuff, and those black boxes that's found in the airplanes, I don't know if they changed it, whatever, right? But pretty much and stuff, those black boxes was being shut off, and here it is. You know how you see in like old cartoons or like Dragon Ball Z and stuff, or I'm thinking about what's his name, Mr. Hercule, or I think his other name stuff is Mr. Satan, and here it is and stuff. Uh, 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 Here it is and stuff. I think something was like falling on him. This probably was GT. Yeah, he was bald, and the thing is that he was running away. During the transformation and stuff, and one of Boma's contraptions and stuff was falling on him. Well, imagine a airplane and whatnot and stuff, and as big as it is, you ain't crossing that stretch and stuff when it come down to the width or the length or however fuck it however way it falls. Matter of fact, I had this old game called, I still got it, I think I do. It's this game called Split Second, right? And on the first, I think one of the first boards or one of the few boards and stuff, right? It's called an airport terminal, right? And if you able to detonate certain pathways to change the way that the change the way that the track would be and stuff, right? Right. And pretty much and stuff, what will happen is that you will have this you'll open up this one part and whatnot and stuff, right? And then next it'll be this plane that just come out of nowhere, right? And the vibrations of the ground and stuff would be there because it's exploding, falling apart and stuff. And you got different parts and stuff, and you doing the best that you can and stuff, not to crash in those parts. You know what I'm saying? But imagine stuff that's in a car though, when it come down to being on foot though. You know what I'm saying? Where it meshes up and stuff completely and stuff, and you running. You know, that's going to be very horrifying and whatnot and stuff. And usually when planes hit the ground, they blow up, and it's the same way even in water. You would think and stuff it would be safer in water when the whole time they still blow up, right? Right? And just imagine and stuff the people and stuff who really want to get out that jam and stuff, who fuck around and open that escape door and stuff with no parachute and stuff, and you got nothing but wind and stuff hitting the side and stuff. It's gonna be like a black hole sucking their ass outside of that plane and whatnot and stuff. Or matter of fact, what is that? Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, before the war zone, right? That one. What ended up happening and stuff? You had that one mission where you was on the plane and it crashed. As not being why rather than you in your seatbelt or not and stuff, or what would fuck around and happen, right? So this Luke 21 and 21, it says, "Then let them which are in Judea." Oh, no, I read that already. Well, I read again. It says, "Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled." Verse 23, it says, "But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days," meaning they breastfeed. For there shall be great distress in the land and wrath upon this people. Right? And imagine, uh, 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 look how the women were and stuff when they found out it was a shortage in formula. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's found in Second Ezra, the sixth chapter, where it talks about how is either Second Ezra the sixth chapter or Second Ezra the ninth chapter, where it talks about you know how women and stuff can't lactate. You know what I'm saying, right? And look, even when it come down to the women, I forget who said it, but there's an individual who said that the only way and stuff to measure out the strength of a country and stuff is looking at their women. And matter of fact and stuff, I just got done watching the Drewski. Well, not just got done, but recently I had watched the Drewski reunion. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Those women and stuff was just acting all fucking weird, man. You know what I'm saying? They just going nuts. They going fucking nuts and shit. I know you got a problem, but they was just nuts. You know what I'm saying? You know, they did laugh. I mean, and then you had one where it really showed and stuff that they really didn't have no beef. You know what I'm saying? You know, little baby face. But anyways, you had one. I think it, you had one. Oh shit, she wasn't right anyways. But pretty much and stuff it shows that what I saw and stuff is that how easily they was able to get chaotic. Maybe it's because they knew that security was there and stuff, or maybe they was doing this stuff just so they can win a little extra money or a little clout and stuff, right? All that's gonna be different and stuff in these times to come, and it's gonna be everywhere. Because remember, they gotta bring chaos and stuff just so they can bring order, and that's why it's called order, or that's why order out of chaos. You know what I'm saying? Which is order out of chaos. So they gotta purposely come with this chaos, meaning that guess what? All these various things that's going on, the terrorists and all that shit and stuff. Guess what? That was all planned. And how you know? Because the elites and stuff got a so-called card game and stuff that predicts these various things. When the whole time they're behind these things that's happening. Why? Because the Lord is using the left hand and whatnot to bring forth these calamities and stuff all throughout the earth. Right, so they can get their Job 20 on. Right, so this is Luke 21, and 23, it says, but woe unto them that are with a child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be a great distress in the land and wrath upon this people. And it's going to be great distress, because who's being attacked? It's Israel. Anyone that gets caught in the it's like whoever gets caught, uh, uh gets caught, you know uh 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 in the midst and whatnot and stuff, they just get caught. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's going to be Egyptian, like I was making mention, Egyptian against Egyptian, like the brothers brought out, the thing is that, you know, I can see it right now and stuff. It's like, officer down and whatnot and stuff. Somebody shooting shots off and stuff, and find out that guess what? It was a fellow officer and stuff taking down another. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be damn near no limit. It's going to be no limits. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be lawlessness and stuff out in this earth, right? So this Luke, like you see it, the jealousy, the jealousy, you see it, the jealousy and stuff, and how people are ready to go so far, people and stuff ready to do the most demonic thing and stuff, and thinking that it's like the Lord gonna sit up here and give them a round of applause and stuff. He gonna clap their ass to death. That's what he gonna do, right? So this Luke 21 and 23, it says, but woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land and wrath upon this people, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword. And what's the modern day sword? The gun. But then there's other shit too. You know what I'm saying? Right? And it says, and shall be led away captive into all nations, right? And it says, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled, meaning when their time is over. Meaning, guess what? It's gonna be crazy as fuck out here and stuff until Yahweh Shai returns. Right? Verse 25. You see, the return of Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of nations. Right? So now I get this. This is second Esdras 6. Bear with me. The second Esdras 6 and second Esdras 6 and 17 in the Apocrypha, and it says, and it happened that when I had heard it, I stood. Let me see. Just 144. 1144, but 144 both ways. Right. So this is Second Edges 6:16. It says, and why? Because the speech of these things trembleth and is moved, for it knoweth that the end of these things must be changed. It says, and it happened that when I heard uh 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 it said that when I had heard it, I stood up upon my feet and hearkened. It says, and behold, there was a voice that spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. And it said, behold, the day is come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. And this is what's going on. And tells you that in Second Esdras, the ninth chapter. So this is verse 17. And it says, and it happened that when I had heard it, I stood up upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spake. It says, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. It says, and will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the infliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. Right. So everybody and stuff, who's continuous, because this is going to be continuous. This ain't going to just be one time thing and stuff, and that's it. No, this is going to be individuals and stuff who's continuously in it. Like I was saying and stuff, Revelations 22 and 11. You can read it for yourself. Verse 20, it says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I shew these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. It says, and the only ones who's really going to see, well, everybody going to see and stuff, the prophecies, whether they get it or not, right? But the ones who's really going to see are the ones that the Lord and stuff gave us understanding to, because we're going to measure the time and stuff within itself. Verse 21, it says, and the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children. Okay, I had it wrong. Untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, premature. It says, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. It ain't going to be shit open, right? It ain't going to be shit in there. It's gonna be glasses and stuff broken and whatnot and stuff. Why? Because everybody gonna be looting for something and stuff. Why? Because guess what? Ain't nothing coming through thanks to the tariffs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff from China and stuff is here found in America and stuff. And guess what? These individuals and stuff, they China ain't gonna send shit. And all the individual stuff. Oh, we've been growing our food and whatnot and stuff. I forget what movie it is. I don't know the name of it. But you had these individuals. They had like a little safe haven and stuff out in the woods. They left the city and stuff because shit got chaotic and whatnot. You had military coming through and whatnot, saying we over here trying to protect you, and whole time and stuff they was being assholes with guns. And that's what's gonna happen. That's what's going to happen. And it says, verse 23, it says, in the trumpet shall give, because what's going to be the next grocery store? Somebody crib. And guess what? Motherfuckers doing that shit already. It says, how home invasions and stuff is going to be nothing. Right. And it says, and then guess what? The only ones that's going to really be doing home invasions are the ones that the Lord ain't with. Right. So this Second Esdras chapter 6 verse 23, it says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, right? This word which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. It says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Meaning that guess what? Individuals ain't gonna receive this word because it's gonna be a famine of word, right? But then at the same time and stuff, right? If they like there's a lot of dams and stuff, what they do is that they what they call it, hydroelectric dams and stuff, you know what I'm saying? They use the flowing of water, and whatnot and stuff to power whole states, right? But if those go down, they don't have anything. If an EMP and stuff get the cracking and they don't got no generators, you know what I'm saying? They get or something happens to the generators because motherfuckers gonna be stealing those too, right? They're gonna be doing anything that they can and stuff to survive. right? And the thing is that it's gonna be hectic out here. Many great miseries, right? Right. So it's gonna be friends and stuff against one another. It's gonna be friends against one another. You know, sandals and couscous everywhere. What they call them, slides and chicken everywhere. What's the other one? What's the other one? Crocs. Even though a lot of people wear that, but Crocs, yeah, Crocs, flip flops, whatever. Crocs, flip flops, and yeah, Crocs, flip flops, and taco shells everywhere. Who's to say? You know, right? So it's back in Luke 21 and 25. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity." It says the sea and the waves, and I think perplexity goes into confusion because many are going to be caught up in this great confusion because they're going to be looking for peace and safety and stuff, and sudden destruction is there. Aporia. Strong's G 640. Aparia. Aparia. Quandary. Bear with me. Yeah, I think perplexity. Hold on, let me get this. Yeah, perplex, to make unable to grasp something clearly or to think logically and decisively about something, and that's what's going to happen. These people don't have no practice and stuff, so guess what they're going to be on? They're going to be what the scripture says. It says that mischievous women shall bring forth monsters, right? The second Ezra chapter 5 verse 8. And it says, "There shall be confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and minstrous women shall bring forth monsters." You know what I'm saying? I got to take that from Apostle Kai as well and stuff. Guess what? He called them the hatchlings. A lot of these people and stuff are putting their children through the fire and stuff, and those children grow up and whatnot and stuff just so they can continue the process in the next offspring. Because here it is, what they say, the Gen X and stuff. We don't know what the fuck going on. They more than monsters. It's all about demon time when it come down to them, right? And it says, verse 26, it says, "Men's hearts fell in them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken." The scripture says and stuff that there shall be newly created beasts. You know what I'm saying? And I really believe it. So we're going to see that. We're going to see, speaking as a man, I really think we're going to see, because we already got Komodo dragons and shit and stuff, but I think it's going to be some other dragons, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be sitting up here shooting out fucking fire, because it tells you that in Job, I think the 41st, the 41st verse. I mean the 44th chapter. You know what I'm saying? It talks about the Leviathan and the Behemoth. Which a lot of people think and stuff is when they come down to Behemoth and stuff, they think it's Bigfoot or in the chupacabra. You know what I'm saying? Which sounds like a peach dish, but when it's just gonna be a prehistoric animal. You know what I'm saying? That has longevity. You know, you know, Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? Godzilla and King Kong. Where you think they got that from? From the scriptures. But anyways, this is so people gonna be scared. People are gonna be scared and whatnot and stuff. And what does it say in Jeremiah, the 51st verse? I think it's Jeremiah 51. Bear with me. This is Jeremiah 51. I think it's 30. It says, Jeremiah 51 and 30. It says, "The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight." Nobody and stuff, no matter how tough, no matter how hood, no matter how many guns and stuff, guess what? Once they was talking about them drafts and whatnot and stuff, as much as they love America, they wasn't trying to go fight for it, were they? No. And it says they have, and I wouldn't be surprised and stuff if you had militants and stuff on the run, because it was like, shit, they ain't trying to because who was it? It's 2.5 men. You know what I'm saying? And you got Jake and stuff. Jake was in the military and whatnot and stuff, and he was running away from the military police. And it's because the motherfuckers don't want to fight for this place, right? And it says the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. It says their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. You know what I'm saying? You know, which is also part of breaking the teeth of the young lions. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not gonna want to fight. They're not gonna want to. They love this country and stuff, but they don't want to fight for it. They don't want to go overseas. And it was certain little videos. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they tend to do and stuff, right? They show a little footage and stuff of what's going on, so the rest of the public can see how is the war or whatever conflict of another country and stuff, right? Because they kingdom against kingdom, right? And you had soldiers in the past and stuff, swole as hell, fit, able to pass the test and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, for the ones and stuff who was eligible, and guess what? They was sitting there scared in warfare and whatnot and stuff. Because you probably had 12-year-old boys and stuff who do fucking jungles and stuff, and all these niggas knew was the streets in the cities. So this Lu 21 and or replicas and whatnot and stuff, you know. There's Luke 21 and 27. It says, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And it says, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. And guess what? Salvation is drawn close. This is Romans. This Romans Romans 13 and 11. Because with this being the case and stuff, you know, you got to have a certain mindset upon you. You know what I'm saying, right? And for all the people out there who like to sit up there and stuff, it's like you the one to talk and stuff. It's like, shoot, I'm the one doing the video, not you. It's Romans 13 and 11. It says in verse 10, it says, love worketh no ill to his neighbor. It says, therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. Verse 11, and at that, no, and at that is before Yahweh returns. It says, and that knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe, and it is. So all the more and stuff to wake up out of sleep. Don't be in this bullshit and whatnot and stuff that everybody else got going on and whatnot and stuff. Work on your own salvation with fear and trembling. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because we're gonna have to be circumspect and stuff. You know, you have to learn how to be circumspect. But until you have a shy return and whatnot, everybody gonna wail because a lot of people ain't gonna believe. And I'm gonna stop it right there, you know. But I hope this video was edifying. I like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shemi Al Shah, double honors to apostles, a great millstone, and salutations to elect, which we hope to be. Shalom wa Baba Kwam Yasharala.